As someone who is a pioneer of consciousness, I have been contacted since I was 7 years old by angelic beings, extraterrestrials. I have experienced higher dimensions of light, higher consciousness, higher planetary realms. All of this I have done. I have a library of over half a century of knowledge here on YouTube. From my very first experiences as a child with physical beings in my room, to all of my astral travels, to all of the spiritual gifts and talents such as premonition, precognition, telepathy, bilocation, and many other experiences. A wealth of knowledge is here in this library. Today, I want to specifically focus on the concept of the known and the unknown. Because as a pioneer of consciousness, I have spent my entire life exploring the unknown. And I have gained some wisdom from these experiences that I want to share with you today. While it is valuable that we have a history or a institutional organization, you might say, or even lineages of gurus, where we pass on known information, known avenues to pursue spiritual growth and known avenues as to how to survive on this planet. The known is very beneficial for the human survival here, but truly you cannot leave this planet or this astral realm after you die if you do not spend the majority of your life living in the unknown, in uncertainty. Because as I've said in many of my videos, 99% of humanity dies. They stay trapped in the earth environment, in the astral worlds, living with their dead grandparents or relatives of some sort. So I am here to teach freedom. I am a pioneer of consciousness, and so are you. You just need to understand that the unknown is the path to freedom from this particular planet, from life after death, being where you can travel the universe, where you can move into higher dimensions of light, where you can move to higher planets and a more peaceful and loving and expanded universe, because the universe is benevolent, my friends. I've said this in other videos. The universe is benevolent. It is our genetic programming in this earth animal body that knows different. It thinks it's based on fear. It's based on survival fears. So the animal body, which is influencing your brain and your emotions, is constantly afraid of life. And so it doesn't know the universe is benevolent. This is why everyone strives so much to have security, to have the known around them, the predictability. They don't want anything that's not predictable and secure. And as long as you live like that, in fear of the unknown, you will never find freedom. You cannot reach higher consciousness. You cannot access higher beings without traveling into the unknown. There are a lot of people dwelling in the astral worlds. Practically everyone I know who is having experiences or having astral experiences. These are lower thought forms attached and lower beings attached to this reality. Higher beings cannot be accessed through the emotional body of fear. It is only our mind, our higher intellect, that can access higher beings. This is a fact that I have proven to myself over and over again, as I said, for over 50 years of experience. And yes, I have been in the astral worlds and been pummeled and beaten up by the beings that live there. I have learned what the astral worlds are about. I have had to pioneer myself with great courage into higher frequencies, into unknown frequencies, facing unknown beings, facing unknown circumstances when I was taken onto ships or taken into other parts of the world or other worlds, and I've had to face these fears and conquer them in order to understand what reality truly is. And this one thing is for certain: you cannot get to these higher dimensions, these fifth density, sixth density, and higher. You cannot contact higher consciousness and higher beings unless you begin to accept the unknown and let go of your fear. Because the unknown is the only place where you can expand your consciousness, where you can expand what is, where you can explore infinite possibilities. And so if you are spending your days totally absorbed in the world, totally afraid of what the world is going to do to you, what the stock markets are going to do, what your government's going to do to you, what your relatives are going to do to you, if you're going to lose your job, if you are afraid of vaccines, if you are afraid of computers and AI, and you're afraid of this political party or that political party, and you just live constantly in fear, these emotions keep you trapped in the astral. Fear does not exist in higher consciousness. It doesn't exist. And so in order to reach higher consciousness, the animal emotional fear body has to be tamed and mastered. Eckhart Tolle calls this the pain body. The pain body must be mastered, and higher mind must come into activation, because most everybody lives in lower mind. The constant evaluating of our brain of the circumstances around us as to what is predatory and what is safe and what is secure and what isn't secure, and what is known and what is unknown. And living in that kind of a brain will not get you freedom. You have to calm your emotions and make them very, very still. And you have to calm the monkey mind and make it very, very still. And then you have to move into your higher intellect, and you have to allow your higher intellect the freedom to explore and live constantly in the unknown. And when you enter into an unknown situation, like we are in right now, where we don't know the future, we are uncertain about our work or our family or our health, you have to find a way to master the unknown. And how you do that is that you are constantly accepting that this world is never going to give you security. It's never going to give you the freedom that you're seeking, as long as you seek to hold on to no change in your life. As long as you seek to hold on to security, and you seek to hold on to safety, and you seek to find a way to defend yourself or protect yourself from those things that the animal ego fears. Higher consciousness lives in an area of reality where there is no security, there is no known process, there is no known events about the future. And it requires us to learn to take our mind and learn to discipline it so that our higher intellect can face every single day with the joy and anticipation of not knowing what's going to happen today. If you wake up every morning and you say to yourself, "This is a glorious day. I welcome the unknown. I welcome new things in my life. I welcome uncertainty. I welcome the opportunity to grow and expand by receiving something I do not know and processing it and developing my consciousness because I have interacted with something I do not know and I have overcome it. I have mastered it. I have evaluated it and learned that it is not as fearful as I thought it was." I've had to do this, friends, when I would have these beings show up in my room, show up in my bed or bedside, or show up in out when I was doing other things. And I am confronted with these unknown frontiers, these beings, these places I've gone to. I've had to stand in this unknown. And you cannot survive that if your body is overcome with fear. Because the fear is like a wave in the ocean that's crashing against the rocks. It's going to get beat up. You're going to get beat up if you become afraid of what you encounter. And yes, there are some things that are not very friendly, and I've had to encounter them. But there is no way to get from here to the higher consciousness and into higher realities without going through some of the muckety muck that's around us. So yes, we have to face things that are not as beneficial to us. We have to face those, and we have to face them without fear. Because when you face something that looks threatening, and maybe it has a long history of being threatening, and that could be wars or could be anything you label as threatening. It could be even these watchers or fallen angels or whatever you want to call threatening. If you look at them as a threat, because that is your known, these are threats, then you are vibrating at the same level as the threat. Do you see what I'm saying? In order to get to a higher intellect, a higher awareness, you have to receive these things that come to you that can be perceived as threatening, whether it's something very simple like a divorce, an illness, losing your jobs, things going on in the world, all the way up to spiritual encounters, extraterrestrial encounters, anything you perceive as threatening. You have to face this without a known projection that this is hostile and is going to harm you and is going to threaten your life. You have to move past those things. You have to embrace that the universe is benevolent, that love is the predominant energy, and that love is always, always perceiving things from a higher awareness. And when you can sit in a consciousness of love, and even when I say love, this is not an emotional thing. What I'm saying with love is a situation where your consciousness is at peace, and your intellect and your consciousness is accepting what is, and your consciousness is saying, this is unknown. It's not labeling it as something known and then giving it a bad label. It's saying, here is something that's in front of me. I don't know the outcome. The outcome is unknown. I'm not for sure how this person or being or situation is going to work out. Now, it may start out as a certain way, and if you label it as a certain known factor, then you put it in that frequency. But if you embrace something that comes to you as an unknown, then you have infinite possibilities and infinite avenues to experience this unknown. And even if the unknown manifest in a way that you thought it might, like perhaps an illness or, you lost your job or something. If you are labeling that as a negative to begin with, and you are now in fear of the uncertainty of your life because you have an illness or you've lost your job or something, you are now afraid of the uncertainty. You are then tying yourself and binding yourself to the lower frequencies of where that manifested. You're tying yourself to the fear frequency. So when anything ever happens in your life, even if it's simple things all the way up to these profound spiritual expansions in consciousness, you have to embrace it as an unknown. And you have to understand that that is in alignment with love, and that is in alignment with your spiritual growth, because your spiritual growth only comes in the unknown. and higher beings come to you when your consciousness is freed up from the animal emotions and freed up from labeling something as known. Instead, you are like an innocent child. You're like the fool in Tarot, for instance. You're like an innocent child that is in awe of this unknown, or perhaps in curiosity of this unknown, or perhaps excited about this unknown, even if it's fearful from the known perspective of your genetic lineage and the Earth's history. You don't perceive it that way. You perceive this as Spirit is here with me, love is here with me, the universe is benign. Every part of the universe supports me and loves me and is going to help me to understand this experience. And I welcome the adventure of walking through this unknown experience and seeing just what amazing things can actually happen when we don't let fear block our way. When we really truly embrace every day the unknown, embrace every day as being uncertain, and learn to love that. Learn to be a pioneer of your own life, and learn to be on the open seas of possibilities. And when you do that, you will find some amazing beings who are ready to play with you and to help you on an adventure. It's a great adventure. You can become an explorer of the unknown. And there are so many higher beings who want to play with us and who want us to begin to explore the unknown with freedom and courage and joy and anticipation. And so that is my message today, friends. Embrace the unknown and let it wash over you and let it give you an exciting and fulfilling life.